Eddie Abbew is the most trending fitness influencer in 2024, and I promise you've seen one of his videos. Bro went from a complete nobody to over 3 million followers on Instagram, and his rise as one of the top fitness influencers has been controversial, which is very similar to my own, because unlike these other fitness influencers who are sheep and just say the same thing as each other, me and Eddie Abbew came into fitness with a different message. And if we have to piss off some bodybuilders along the way, so be it. For me, it was telling people that athletic bodybuilding is way better than bodybuilding, and actually bodybuilding is ruining you in terms of health, performance, and aesthetics. Well, hey, athletic bodybuilding is improving all three of those things. While Eddie Abbew is telling you to get rid of these shit foods that these fitness influencers and marketing scams are shoving down your throat, and go back to the old-fashioned whole foods that our old school bodybuilders use to build their physiques. Although our rises are very similar, that doesn't mean I agree with everything that Eddie Abbew has to say. So I'm gonna go over his videos and give you my take on his fitness and nutrition philosophy.
If you eat the way I'm asking you to eat, when you get up in the morning, don't eat anything. Wait until about 12, 1 o'clock. Have some avocado and fucking eggs. Eat about, if you're a guy, eat about 6 eggs. If you're a girl, eat about 4 eggs and 1 avocado. And then you see, when you eat that, you think, hang on, your insulin level will be steady throughout the day. You won't be falling asleep at 3 o'clock. You're tired and you're carrying body fat. That's stupid. This is energy. You've stored this energy. That's the reason why you store this energy. You've eaten something, you've done something to tell your body to store energy for a rainy day. And you have to undo whatever it is.
So Eddie's advice is basically when you get up, have some high-fat foods with eggs having a little bit more protein to fuel you throughout the day, because that's not going to raise your insulin level, and because of the high fat, it's going to give you more steady energy throughout the day. From what I've seen of Eddie Abbew, he doesn't seem to be a big fan of carbs, which I am a huge fan of carbs. But what he's saying is very true for people who are eating like shit and have horrible energy levels throughout the day. It's like, yeah, you're gonna have horrible energy levels if you're eating a bunch of processed crap all day. But if you're eating good carbs, specifically for athletes and bodybuilders, that's what's gonna fuel your workouts. Because when you're weightlifting and you're doing athletic events, you need short-term, quick energy, which comes from carbs, and you're not gonna get that from fats. So what he's saying might work for some of you, but for me, I lift weights first thing in the morning. So I need carbs right when I get up, and I actually need low fat. Because if you have high fat, it doesn't digest very quickly, and it'll interfere with your workout as it takes a long time to digest. So what Eddie Abbew's saying here is he's acting like this advice is gonna work for everybody, when this only works for a specific type of person who's living an unhealthy lifestyle to begin with. Due to Eddie Abbew's quote-unquote strict standards for healthy foods, people have been blaming him for food anxiety. But actual anxiety is serious and something you should take control of. I've had it several times, and the best way to get through it is by talking to someone, which is why I'm excited to announce that BetterHelp is sponsoring today's video. When growing up, a lot of challenges come your way that you can't control. A surplus of responsibilities that make life so much more difficult. Maybe you caught a disease or got injured in a car accident so you can't do the things you love. Or you lost a job, and maybe even worse, you lost a loved one where you need someone to talk to help you get through this difficult period. Which is when BetterHelp is here for you to help you get through these difficult times. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. Starting therapy may be hard, and the right therapist may not be anywhere near your area. And some people find face-to-face interactions kind of uncomfortable, especially when talking about very vulnerable things that are happening in your life. With BetterHelp, you can have therapy sessions as a phone call, as a video chat, or even via messaging if you prefer that. It's whatever the most comfortable version of therapy is for you. BetterHelp can match you with one of over 30,000 therapists in their network, which gives you access to a wider range of expertise that may be available in your area. To get started, you fill out a questionnaire on your specific needs, and then you get matched up with a therapist that suits you best. And in most cases, this is done in less than 48 hours. You'll also be able to schedule therapy sessions that are at a most convenient time for you. If the first therapist you're matched with doesn't feel like the right fit, which can be common for a lot of people, you can switch to a new therapist that fits you better at no additional cost without having to worry about insurance, who's in your network, or anything complicated like that. People like me and you spend hours in the gym every week, which helps build your physical health, so why not give your mental health the same kind of attention? Over 4 million people have used BetterHelp to live a healthier, happier life. If you think you might benefit from therapy, consider using BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or my pinned comment, or go to betterhelp.com/MarioRios. Clicking that link will help support my channel and give you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp, so you can connect to a therapist and see if that helps you. Again, thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. So obviously you can tell here that Eddie Abbew has a certain way of speaking in the camera, very similar to my shorts method, which gets your attention and might be viewed as extreme, which is gonna get the attention of these soy boy bodybuilders like Gregory Douchehead, who I had my own run-in with like a year ago. He made a shit reaction video to me, and I actually made one back to him where I owned his ass. So of course, Gregory Douchehead needs to react to Eddie Abbew where he spits complete nonsense.
Eddie Abbew, pay attention. Okay, quick lesson for you. Homogenized milk, as you preach, that you say is so much better. This is your protein milk. It's so bad for you. This is what we're seeing, okay? This protein milk, 230 calories, 15 grams of sugar. 160 calories, 13 grams of sugar. Almost the same sugar, Eddie. This one has 8 grams of fat. This one has 1, okay? This one has 38 grams of protein. It actually counts as real protein. It actually builds muscle. This one only has 9. I'd have to drink 4 servings of this to equal the same protein as one of these, okay? That would be 640 calories. This is 230. Imagine how much more sugar I would get in this. Almost 60 grams compared to 15. So the smart person is going to drink this and not that, Eddie, okay? Wake the up. It's not it. Thank you.
Gregory Douchehead literally thought he did something. He's an example of these fitness YouTubers who think they're nutritionally savvy and know they can fool people that think they know about nutrition, but just talk about, oh, protein's super important. In the fitness space, if you find something that's low calorie, high protein, people assume that's a healthy food. When sure, that might be macro friendly for you, but in reality, having low calories, high protein is just macro friendly for someone who's cutting. And macro friendly doesn't define healthy foods versus unhealthy foods, because something being macro friendly is subjective. Again, high protein, low calories is a macro friendly food for someone who's cutting. Something that's high in carbs is macro friendly for someone who's looking to improve their performance, their strength, and athletes in general. High fat foods are gonna be macro friendly for your skinny hard gainers and people who are suffering with diseases like Parkinson's disease, who struggle with energy levels. Anyone who defines a food as being healthy or unhealthy based on their macros is an idiot, aka Gregory Douchehead. I already made a video going over whey protein. If you haven't watched that, you definitely should. I basically exposed the fitness matrix and what's wrong with supplement companies in that video. But the whey protein itself isn't unhealthy necessarily, aside from like the GMO crap that's in it. It's all the excess ingredients and crap that make whey protein essentially equal to a diet soda, but with just some extra protein in it. And honestly, I'd say Eddie Abbew is right. The milk, which is just milk as its ingredients, is gonna be way better than this protein that tastes like a milkshake for some reason because of all the shit that's in it.
Eddie Abbew and your 2.5 million followers, listen up, okay? You want to compare apples to apples. High protein milk does not have more sugar, and it doesn't have more other crap that he kept saying. There's no shit in it extra. Literally, it's got 9 grams of sugar. This one, the regular one, it has 12. It has more sugar. This has 18 grams of protein. This one has 9. It has 110 calories compared to 160. This one is better for you. They didn't add shit. When they have extra milk solids, it's extra milk solids. They take more milk and they put it in here. If you dissolve or if you evaporate milk, you're left with the solid. They put that in the friggin' protein milk, and that's why it has more protein. It's not some special bullshit. And if you want to drink whole milk, you can have whole milk with extra protein. They have this too, Eddie. Eddie, you can drink extra protein milk. You don't have to make it too sciencey. It's not that complicated. Stop telling people to wait the F-U-C-K up and tell people to start following someone else that actually knows what he's talking about.
Gregory Douchehead's response video was even fucking worse. He's what we call in my college level classes unconsciously incompetent. He starts arguing there's no extra shit in it, and instead of reading the ingredients list, he reads the nutrition facts. Because again, these fitness influencers who think they're smart and know about nutrition just read the macros and assume a food is healthy based on the macros. Just because a food's higher in protein, it doesn't make it healthy. Because last time I checked, protein is good for the body, so is carbs, so is fat. But ultimately what matters more is where you get these sources from. And I'm telling you, whey protein is just a shit diet soda with extra protein in it. You're better off having meat, eggs, chicken, fish. That's gonna be way better for you. And the people like Gregor Douchehead are complaining that Eddie Abbew is creating food anxiety because I don't know what to eat anymore. These are just people who are coping for a multitude of reasons. One is that they're coping because they'd rather eat unhealthy with good macros rather than actually eating good food that may not taste as good. And then the second reason is that they don't want to put in the maybe hour, maybe 30 minutes of work to just learn how to read a nutrition label. So if anyone's complaining about food anxiety, just know that they're soy and that they refuse to eat healthy.
I went to have my beard trimmed this morning. There's a young lad there drinking one of this shit. I said to him, dude, do you feel you need to drink this? Do you need the energy? He goes, no, no, no. I just like the taste. I'm like, dude, do you know you're addicted to it? He goes, no, no, no. I'm not addicted. I like the taste. I said, I like the taste of fucking pussy. I don't eat it every morning, do I? Guys, snap the fuck out of it. This is fucking shit. It's like a credit card. When you use this, you pay the energy back with interest. Guys, snap out of it.
Eddie Abbew shows an articulate way to say that this energy drink is awful for you. Don't get confused. Caffeine has a lot of benefits, which is why I take a pre-workout. I'm still in between pre-workouts right now, and I might try and get into coffee because all of these pre-workouts have tons of stimulants that are unnecessary. Red Bull being included. I mean, it's got an essay as its ingredients list. Imagine what that shit's doing to you. Plus, I don't know who Eddie Abbew's talking to, but who likes the taste of Red Bull? I mean, that tastes like shit. Don't let this video scare you from having caffeine before your workouts because there are literal muscle performance benefits of caffeine prior to lifting weights or any kind of athletic event. But just be a little wiser to what you use as a caffeine source, and these heavily commercialized drinks like Red Bull, Monster, don't use those. Those are gonna be shit for you. Most pre-workouts are at least a healthier version of them.
3 ways to boost muscle growth. Eat more eggs. An egg, when you eat an egg, 48% of the egg can become tissue. When you eat protein powders, whey protein, it's about 16-17%. Animal protein is better for you, especially eggs. Thing you eat with real food. Ditch every processed food. Ditch all the wheat. Ditch all the sugar. We never had any sugar when you're bodybuilding. The only time you need carbohydrates really is running your training. Ditch the bloody bagels. Bagels no food. Pasta. That's one of the last things we would have eaten when we were training. Sweet potatoes. They contain the right micronutrients. Even white rice, jumbo oats, or silka oats. All these are proper carbohydrates and proper food. Ditch all that processed shit and see how quickly you build muscle.
Eddie Abbew clearly loves eggs, and if anyone asks me what's a superfood out there, I'd say eggs is one of them. In terms of the percentages he gave that turn into protein, I can only find one source that said eggs give 48% that can turn into muscle tissue, and I couldn't find the one for whey protein, but through all my nutrition courses, I've never learned this, and besides, it's kind of pointless. It might just lead to more of a headache. Like imagine having a scoop of whey protein being like, okay, let me do the math here and multiply the protein grams by 18%. It's like, just look at the protein, like all of it's gonna be digested and absorbed by your muscles, because that's just better psychologically for you. Because to me, nutrition is physiological, which Eddie Abbew really goes heavily into, but it's also psychological too. If you're having food anxiety like I was addressing before, then you need to take a chill pill and figure out why that's happening, because that's just messing with you in a way you don't need. And regarding carbs, Eddie Abbew really downplays them, which I just don't agree with. But he's right in terms of carbs surrounding your training. Here is a graph that goes over how you should organize your carb intake leading up to your workout. And people don't realize that carbs are influential after your workout. Between 30 to 100 grams of a high glycemic carb post-workout will help reduce muscle protein breakdown. And high glycemic means fast digesting. If you're wondering if a carb's high glycemic, just go into Google and type in the carb you're looking for and put glycemic index. Anything with a glycemic index over 70 would be considered high glycemic. We all used to hear this rumor and this myth that you need protein as soon as you're done working out within 2 hours. But for me, because I actually use exercise science knowledge, I'm actually rushing to get my high glycemic carbs in. But for athletes, which if you're lifting weights, you're an athlete, okay? Don't act like you're a bodybuilder, because those are just bums who are lazy, when in reality, when you're lifting weights, that's considered an athletic event. You want 5 to 6 grams of carbs per kilogram of body weight, which is a lot. If you're someone who lifts weights in the morning, you're getting a lot of those at night the day before. And if you lift weights at night, you can just build up to it. But almost all of the energy you need to lift weights, because it's quick energy at a high intensity, will come from carbs. So you need to eat a lot of carbs to fuel your workouts and get strong. So when Eddie Abbew downplays carbs, I have a problem with that, but I get where he's coming from because so many people, like the general population, eat a bunch of processed carbs that aren't good for them.
I get asked every single day, you know, Eddie, what do you think about creatine? What do you think about creatine? But before I talk about creatine, try and realize that the same people who are selling you fucking whey protein, they're the ones who want to buy creatine. Creatine as a supplement, it's been researched so much, so creatine is actually safe. But here's the thing, if to understand why you need to take creatine, you're going to understand why you're taking the creatine. Another thing, the way I'm asking you to eat, you're not going to need any creatine. When you're eating all these bagels and porridge and all that shit, that's when you need creatine because your body is instructed to store the energy from those foods for a rainy day. That's why you get tired. That's why you need the creatine. The way I'm asking you to eat, you find that all the energy from the food that you eat will be released for you to use as ATP straight away. If you don't believe me, try it and read my testimonials. Nobody using my muscle building ebook uses creatine. You don't need it. You replenish your ATP from your food when you're eating proper food, when you're eating fats, you're eating fatty acids. Now remember, there are 9 calories in a gram of fat and 4 calories in a gram of carbs. They just made one of the other products that's made to get your money. Wake the fuck up.
Alright, so with creatine, I low-key agree with him. Just like me, he says the people who are shoving whey protein down your face are the enemy, aka the fitness matrix, which I've already exposed pretty much every day, right? He even goes into like the science behind how creatine provides your body energy, but I'll give you my explanation because my explanation is better, right? So you basically have batteries in your muscles to provide you energy, specifically for high intensity, short duration bouts, like sprinting or here in this case, weightlifting. When you supplement with creatine, you're adding more batteries to your muscles. So it gives you more energy to work out harder for longer. Creatine or phosphocreatine is allowing you to have more energy for your phosphagen system, which is what fuels your weightlifting workouts. And then Eddie starts talking about you don't need creatine if you're just eating right. Well, like technically no. Sure, you'll be fine without creatine, but why not get the benefits of creatine by supplementing with it? And for those of you who say, I don't need creatine because I eat enough meat. No, unless you're like an animal like a bear or a lion, you're not gonna get enough creatine from meat itself. So unlike Eddie, I'm gonna tell you, yes, you need to be taking creatine. All of you who are younger will ask me, when should I take creatine? My answer is when you're consistent in the gym, when you know you're disciplined and you always go to the gym and you love going to the gym, get creatine. Imagine investing in creatine when you're not consistent and then you give up and you just wasted all your money. Also, I just forgot, Eddie Abbew said that you can get this energy from fats when no, that's not correct. When you're weightlifting, which is short-term, high-intensity exercise, you need quick energy, which doesn't come from fats, which is long-term energy. It comes from your carbs. So don't listen to Eddie when he talks about fats being better for energy, when no, for weightlifting and these high-intensity stuff, you need carbs. Don't listen to him when he says you don't need them. Overall, as a fitness influencer, I like Eddie Abbew. He's just like me. I know it seems like weird that I'm comparing him to myself, but we both went into fitness with a different message that makes people think. And when you do that, people aren't gonna like you. The people who are consumed by the fitness matrix and just believe everything. Like if these people heard that the sky is green so many times, they'd actually believe it because these are NPC soy boy bodybuilders. And if you start listening to me and Eddie Abbew, but I'd raise a couple eyebrows with some of the things he says, you're gonna live a healthier and a more aesthetic lifestyle. And if you're into aesthetics and want to build your dream physique in just 90 days, I'll leave a link in the description to my 90-day aesthetic body blueprint. Or if you're into athletics, I'll give you game-changing athleticism in less than 120 days. I'll leave both links to those in the description. If you want a nice discount, here it is. 20% off, use coupon code PROTEIN at checkout. And this is not the first time I've exposed fitness influencers. Here's a video where I'm exposing the 2 biggest nerds in the fitness industry who are also part of the fitness matrix. Thank you for watching. See you next time.